Have you ever wondered why brown bread is often touted as the healthier option over white bread? Is it just another food myth, or is there some truth to it? This question isn't as straightforward as you might think. Bread, a staple food enjoyed worldwide, comes in many shapes, sizes, and most importantly, colors. But the two most common variants we're focusing on today are white and brown bread. Many of us have been led to believe that one is superior to the other. You've probably heard it before: ditch the white bread and go for brown. It's healthier. But what does healthier really mean? Is it the lower calorie count, the higher fiber content, or perhaps the fewer additives? And if brown bread truly is the healthier option, what makes it so? When we dig a little deeper, we find that both brown and white bread are processed differently by our bodies. But here's a little spoiler: they both end up as starch in our liver. Yes, you heard it right. Whether it's the white loaf from your local bakery or the whole grain brown bread from the supermarket, they are both converted to starch by our liver. So does that mean they're equal in the nutrition game, or is there more to the story? In the grand scheme of things, the color of your bread might not be the biggest health concern. However, understanding the science behind our daily bread and how our bodies process it can help us make more informed decisions. So, if you're curious about the whole brown versus white bread debate, you're in the right place. We're about to unravel some common bread myths, dissect the differences, and reveal the truth behind the age-old question: brown or white, which bread is right? Stay tuned as we delve into the science behind these two types of bread and how our bodies process them. To understand the difference, we first need to comprehend how our body, specifically the liver, processes these bread types. The liver is our body's master chef, converting everything we eat into substances it can use. So when we consume bread, whether brown or white, the liver gets to work. Let's talk about carbohydrates first. Carbohydrates, found in abundance in both white and brown bread, are the body's primary source of energy. But before the body can use these carbohydrates, they need to be broken down into a simpler form. This is where the liver steps in. The process begins in the stomach and small intestine, where enzymes start to break down the complex carbohydrates from the bread into simpler sugars or monosaccharides. These monosaccharides are then absorbed into the bloodstream, causing a rise in blood sugar levels. Here's where our liver gets into action. The rise in blood sugar signals the pancreas to release the hormone insulin. Insulin acts as a key, unlocking the body's cells so that glucose can enter and be used as energy. But the liver also plays a crucial role in this process. When there's excess glucose that the body's cells don't need, the liver takes it and converts it into a substance called glycogen. Glycogen is essentially stored energy. It's like the body's savings account for glucose. When your body needs a quick energy boost, it can tap into these glycogen stores and convert them back into glucose. Now, let's bring this back to bread. When you eat white bread, the simple carbohydrates it contains are quickly broken down into glucose, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar levels. This can often lead to an energy crash later on, as the body has to work hard to bring blood sugar levels back to normal. On the other hand, brown bread, which is whole grain, contains complex carbohydrates. These take longer to break down, providing a slow and steady release of glucose into the bloodstream. This means energy levels are maintained for a longer period, and there's less of a strain on the body to regulate blood sugar levels. It's also worth noting that the liver doesn't just convert glucose into glycogen. It also transforms excess glucose into fat, which can be stored in the body for long-term energy needs. This is another reason why maintaining steady blood sugar levels is so important. So in essence, while the liver converts both white and brown bread into starch, the type of bread we choose to eat can have a significant impact on how our body manages energy levels and stores fat. Now that we understand the conversion process, let's look at the differences between white and brown bread. Scene script: white bread, the common choice for sandwiches and toast, but what's really in it? Well, let's delve into the story of white bread. It starts with wheat, a cereal grain that's ground into flour. However, not all flour is created equal. For white bread, the flour used is refined, meaning it's stripped of the bran and germ, the outer layers of the grain. This leaves only the endosperm, which is the inner part of the grain. The refining process gives white bread its light, fluffy texture and helps to extend its shelf life. But it also has a downside. By removing the bran and germ, we're also removing the fiber, essential fats, and a bulk of vitamins and minerals. In essence, we're left with a product that's mostly carbohydrates with a much lower nutritional value compared to whole grain bread. Now you might be thinking, but white bread is enriched, right? True, many manufacturers do add back some of the nutrients lost during refining. However, it's important to note that not all nutrients are replaced. Most notably, fiber, which plays a crucial role in our digestion and overall health, is not added back. So, what does this mean for our bodies? When we consume white bread, its carbohydrates are quickly broken down into sugars and absorbed into the bloodstream. This can lead to spikes in blood sugar levels, which is why white bread has a high glycemic index. Over time, a diet high in refined grains like white bread can contribute to health issues like obesity and type 2 diabetes. In contrast, whole grain bread with its intact bran and germ provides a more gradual release of energy and helps to keep our blood sugar levels stable. It's also more filling thanks to its higher fiber content. So, if white bread loses so much during refining, what about brown bread? Brown bread, often hailed as the healthier cousin of white bread. Let's find out why. Now let's dive into the world of brown bread, its composition, and what makes it tick. Brown bread is made using whole wheat flour. What does this mean? Well, whole wheat flour is produced from the entire wheat kernel, which includes the germ, endosperm, and bran. The germ is the embryo of the wheat grain, rich in healthy fats, vitamin E, and protein. The endosperm, the largest part of the grain, provides carbohydrates and proteins. The outer layer, the bran, is a powerhouse of dietary fibers, minerals, and B vitamins. In contrast to white bread, brown bread doesn't lose these essential elements during its production. The milling process of white bread strips away the bran and germ, leaving only the endosperm. But with brown bread, you get all three parts of the grain, and that's where the magic happens. Imagine retaining all the goodness of the wheat kernel. The dietary fiber in the bran aids digestion and keeps you feeling full, controlling your appetite. The vitamins and minerals contribute to your overall health, and the protein and healthy fats in the germ provide energy. Moreover, brown bread has a lower glycemic index than white bread. What's the significance of this? Well, foods with a low glycemic index cause a slower, more gradual rise in blood sugar levels, which is beneficial for blood sugar control. So when you bite into a slice of brown bread, you're not just enjoying a hearty staple, you're also consuming a wealth of nutrients that contribute to a healthier you. It's not just about the color, it's about what's inside, the very essence of the grain that nourishes your body and supports your well-being. So, we've seen the differences between white and brown bread, but what does it all mean for our health? Let's carry on and find out. So, we've broken down the bread types, but what's the final verdict? Let's recap. Both brown and white bread are processed by the liver into starch, but they're not created equal. The main difference lies in the fiber content and the presence of whole grains. Brown bread, often labeled as whole grain or whole wheat, is made from flour that contains all parts of the grain, the bran, germ, and endosperm. This means it's packed with fiber, essential vitamins, and minerals. On the other hand, white bread is made from refined flour where the bran and germ are removed, thus stripping away much of the fiber and nutrients. This fiber in brown bread aids digestion, keeps you feeling fuller for longer, and can help maintain a healthy weight. It also helps regulate blood sugar levels, making it a healthier choice for those managing diabetes. While the choice between brown and white bread ultimately depends on personal preference,